All right, and hello again. So my amateur radio fixing days are coming to a close. All the radios I acquired on eBay and one at an amateur radio swap meet are just about fixed. This is the second TR4 that I picked up off of eBay, and I had pretty high hopes for this radio that would work out well. It cleaned up pretty well, but anyway, yeah, it's all cleaned up. I did find that tubes themselves can short, and the B plus can short to ground or have an intermittent short, and that was too bad. So for me, this 6EV7, the guilty party right here, this tube had a short, and so I'm having burning resistors on the bottom. A burning 1.5K B plus resistor was burning and smoking, and I thought, what the heck? And I thought I found a short that I thought I had cleaned the radio and pushed a wire the wrong way and shorted it out, but no, it wasn't that. It was this crazy tube here, so I replaced it. I had another one hanging around, and I put that in here, and so we're good to go. So then, when you have a tube radio, the tubes can be intermittent, and I guess I just didn't realize that, because I haven't done these radios in like years. So what I did then was I used kind of like the plunk test. So you can turn the radio up a little bit. Whoa, that didn't work out. Let's see here. Let's go to receive mode here. Okay, there's receive. And there's no antenna on here, but with the volume up, you can hit the tubes with your finger and see if there's any noise or any trouble. If there's a short, you sure will hear it. So just kind of get your fingernail and hit the top of the tubes. And if you don't have any static or nothing bad happens, then you're good to go. This tube here is 12BA6 and was bad, so I got rid of it. Had another one, put it in there. It's quiet as can be. So this is a good case for why Shockley invented transistors in solid state, right? It's called solid state because these tubes are not solid. There's vacuum inside, there's wiring. They're not solid, where with a transistor, you got a piece of silicon with some dope in it, basically, and a couple wires, so it's solid. It's like a rock with impurities in it that has wires, and there's no filament, there's no vacuum, there's no grid, there's no plate, there's no anode or cathode. It's just easier in many ways. Tubes, though, will take a lot of abuse. You can't really over voltage these things. I mean, you can, but these will take a lot more abuse than tubes, well, that's for sure. That's why people use tubes in guitar amplifiers, because you can distort them, whereas solid state is pretty clean and predictable. So here we go. Yeah, there's nothing here really bad anymore, so radio's working. I still can't get CW to really key the radio. It has some problems still. If I try and key the radio in CW, take the drive down, go to CW here, it does some weird things. It does that. It keyed up now, but it doesn't really. There, if I put the power up, it'll put out power, and it keeps kind of, okay, it's working there. Sort of. I gotta figure out why it's twitching here. There's a Vox control down here which keys the radio. It might just be getting RF there. Now it's steady. So I'm gonna kill the tubes here. You can't go too high in plate current. It'll kill your tubes. So I gotta turn it off. I don't remember how to turn it off. There we go. That's off there. So yeah, so when you're running a drag, this uses sweep tubes. There's 3 sweep tubes in here. Sweep tubes were used for horizontal in old TVs, and they can take a lot of power, but this is really overdriving this tube. So the manufacturer, Drake, put in tubes that weren't rated for the power that this thing puts out, so you can't really cook them too long. So you can go back to CW mode here and cook them a little bit. Yep, so the light bulb's cooking away there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this radio, how it turned out. So I have 2 of these now. I guess I wanted to fix another one and see if they would match up and line up, and they pretty much do. So they're a little bit different as far as versioning, but they're pretty close. So 2 TR4s. And it's working pretty good now. So I guess I'll put the covers back on this guy. I probably should align the thing sometime, maybe next weekend, align it up, but it's not, I never really aligned it, but it seems to work out of the box. Just once I fixed the problems with it, with the bad resistor and the bad tubes, it kind of came to life. So that's really cool. So I still have this one here in the middle to fix. That has a problem with the back wafer switch where the RF goes into the tank coils, and that's going to be really, really hard to fix. This one is the T4XB. It's finally fixed. That one took a long time. And there's the R4B that I picked up from a fellow on eBay who's very nice. In fact, that guy is really nice. I have his card here somewhere. Here it is. So I got that from this guy here, who is from Massachusetts. He was really, really cool. Anyway, and of course there's a power supply that this R4 this T4XB basically had a short from 650 volts to the 250 volt wire from the neutralization capacitor, and that caused the power supply here to blow out basically. So those diodes couldn't take it, and it basically blew the power supply out. So I had to get a board off eBay that some gentleman makes, and you could look at my videos for putting the board in. And that board basically retrofitted the power supply to work with small capacitors and 2 PCBs. So you can take a look at that. And speaking of that, this little box of parts here is what I just kind of throw things into that are spare. And this is some of the remains of the power supply job. When I took the power supply out, all this stuff was left over from the power supply, not the light bulbs, but all the resistors and diodes. So all that stuff came out of the AC4 and was extra. So I don't know, seeing as parts are hard to get, I just have them hanging around here. And I've been relying on Chinese components from Amazon a lot. It's been really handy. So when I started burning up resistors, I picked up this kit here off of Amazon. Chinese resistors, and they seem pretty darn good. So this is a 1 watt kit, and you probably don't want to use 1 watt. You want to use like quarter watt or something, because the resistors can act as fuses, and if you put one in that's too big, it can handle too much current, then you're going to burn something else out that's more important than a resistor, like a coil or something. So anyway, yeah, I've been kind of picking away at these once in a while when something burns up. Yeah, resistors in all radios always burn up when they're short. Resistors, your B+ resistors always smoke up, so it's what they call a smoke test. And then in the Drake radios, this thing always fades out, so I replaced that with a nice green one, and this one goes in the meter, and it's a little more colorful, but I replaced it with a new one. That's so when you turn this thing on, it has a nice green look to it, or blue look. That's how the Drakes came out of the factory. They were like this and like that. So I'll put LEDs in this thing and light it up, but that's about it. So I'm just about done fixing radios, which is good, because this stuff is it's probably harder than software, actually. I hate to say that, but I think it is. So yeah, I'm gonna get this place cleaned up and get the stuff all organized. And this has been a fun little project. It's time to go back to software and forget about radios. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I've been doing radios all night, really. It's been crazy. So I came back to 1968, 1970, 1972. I don't know. These tubes take a lot of energy to run them. This is like probably 80 watts to run this radio idle. So that's a good reason to get your tubes. I guess in the wintertime, I'm serious. This will make a lot of heat in the wintertime. In the wintertime, when your house is cold, this is when you should run the radio, but not in summer when you need cool air. But when you need hot air, I would run the radio in your room. It would keep it nice and warm. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling on here, but so it's time to attack the other radio. I'm gonna take this T4X apart, I think, and try and fix a wafer switch in the back where one of the fingers, the center finger, fell off. I'm not sure if I knocked it or it just was ready to fall off, but it's gone, and that ruins the radio. So I had an idea. while I was taking a bath actually and relaxing, I said, hey, wait a minute, I could get some wire that's flexible, and I have some flexible wire here. I have no idea where I got this red wire from, but this is so flexible that I'm going to probably cut off some of this and use it as a jumper to the wafer switch, the center part of the wafer that actually turns. Going to have this wire going there, and the wire will flex when the switch is turned. I think that'll fix it, so I'm going to try that if I can get to it. Okay, that's about it. Glad you guys have been watching, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and have a great evening.